collaborate together to understand the needs of our great city. And we're grateful, Father, that we can take this time to serve our community and to do our best to help it to flourish for all the members in the community. And we say these things with gratitude in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand for the pledge. United States of America. It stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Okay, have a recognition item. I should get Chief Atkin to come down. Council, you're welcome to join me. We have had the pleasure of having an amazing police chief here in Syracuse for quite some time. And I thought, as we talked about your next step in life, there's something really cool that we can leave you with to remember this time. So you're not a chief anymore as you take this step. You become a mister. But the coolest thing I can think to put in your classroom would be Mr. Atkins Way. That is a street sign will represent you and your service here. And also, you mentioned to me that you might have some set of classroom rules or whatever. This would go well with that. So
it's as close as I'll get to a street named after.
So I want to give this to you. It's not an actual street, and that's certainly a picture for Karen, but this is the way. So from now on, you can reach Mr. Atkins way. That's the next item. I'll get you to that.
I said, yeah.
Next item on our agenda is proposed resolution R25-34. We have interviewed the candidates that were qualified and have recommended appointing Alex Davis as the new Chief of Police of Syracuse City, Utah. Council, would you join me in that recommendation?
Yes.
Okay, can I have somebody make that motion that we propose that resolution?
Mr. Mayor, I propose that we accept resolution R25-34, appointing Alex Davis as the police chief of the great city of Syracuse.
Second.
Please.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Now we have public comment period. Now that we've done those special business, if anyone has a comment they would like to make, you have up to 3 minutes. Anyone? State your name, sir.
Garrett Atkins, Syracuse resident. Just wanted to take a minute, tell you publicly thank you, not only just for this gift, but for all the support over the years. I grew a lot. I learned a lot. I left a job that I loved, and I think a department that's in very good shape at this point. I also want to commend you on your appointment of Chief Davis. He is absolutely the right person for the job. He is going to do tremendous things with this department. He has the support of the people within the department, and I think he's going to be the one to move this city forward for the next 10 years. So again, excellent decision, and thank you all for your support.
Thank you. Anyone else? We did have one come in, so I'll close the public comment in person, and we had one come in via email that needs to be read into the record.
Okay, yes, this email is from John Mister, and he references the park and ride lot at 1700 South and 3000 West. He says this is a question for the city council. When will this situation be resolved? Commercial semis park there all the time. I have asked UDOT, and they say it's a local police department issue. Local police department tells me, what law are they breaking? And they say they have no lawful right to enforce. I find it offensive that taxpayer dollars were put forth to pay for commercial or convenience parking for private residents. Where did they all park before this convenient option was created? Why can they park there? There's empty trailers that park for weeks or months on end. There's a car carrier that parks there, leaves his personal pickup, and returns to leave his truck for days again. So it's his personal parking lot. I think this guy also has a smaller, no semi car carrier that he leaves next to his parking space, as it's also always sitting there. There's a box van that has been on the south side for weeks. Looks like it had a for sale sign in the window. There's the Fairbanks Scales box van that is there all week long for months. Seems like it's his bench stock, so every so often it is gone for a day or two while his other truck is there. Then it returns home to the park and ride. There's a few semis with 53-foot enclosed trailers that are there all the time. Maybe leave a day or two and then come back for the rest of the week. One 53-foot semi is a guy who lives behind me. He'll show up, pull all the freezer refrigerated food out on 10 to 20 pallets, reload it all, and then leave the power unit ECU running all night long. That results in a continuous drone that is 80 decibels in the park and ride and 60 decibels for the nearby houses. That is a noise violation, but apparently not for where the driver lives a street behind me at 1332 Glen Eagle. Sometimes he'll drag a noisy pallet jack down the sidewalk at 0400 in the morning. There's the Mountain Land physical therapy trailer that sits there for a month or more at a time, and then maybe they move it back to their location across the street for a few days. There's an orange and white small trailer that someone sandwiched between the semis that has been there for months and never moves. I guess free parking is good for them. Commercial 53-foot trailers and flatbeds will show up and be left for upwards of a week or more and then disappear. There have been some double trailers parked there as well for days on end. I have seen the guy with the white Cougar and a friend who drives a black car that lived there for a week on end in their cars. Some campers have set up for a few days at a time in the park and ride. They didn't need to pay for an RV lot. Sometimes there's 8 to 10 commercial vehicles parked there. I see that the next southward park and ride in Syracuse is also a free-for-all, although lesser than the 1700 South one. But the next one down, Highway 177, has nothing, and nothing in Kaysville one farther down. When will something be done about this? It's so pathetic that there is no effort to enforce it. I find that appalling, as the police cars do park there regularly for ticketing motorists, doing paperwork, whatever, but they can't try and get some semblance of control over this and the other park and ride.
Okay, thank you. That we will close public comment. Item number 5 is approval of minutes. We have 3 sets of minutes. We have July 8th, the regular council meeting. We have July 22nd, our council work session, and a special meeting on that night of July 22nd. Can I get a motion to approve these, or are there any edits?
I move that we approve the minutes as outlined in the agenda items 5A through C.
Second?
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Item number 6 is our consent agenda. We have 3 items tonight on the consent agenda. Item A is proposed ordinance 25-31, amending the Syracuse City General Plan for approximately 1.882 acres of real property located at approximately 3400 West and 1700 South, from medium density to residential to commercial. Item B is the same property, which is proposed ordinance 25-32, amending the Syracuse City zoning map for approximately 1.882 acres of real property located at the same address, from R1 to general commercial. And the third item is proposed ordinance 25-33, amending Syracuse Municipal Code, section 11.20, pertaining to enforcement of park regulations and public properties. Those have been heard in previous meetings. Is there anybody has a question about that, or I'll take a motion for consent?
Nice thing is this should take care of the public comment.
Yep. This does take care of the public comment.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the items on the consent agenda as you read them.
Second?
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Now we have the authority to enforce that. Okay, so item number 7 is a public hearing, which will open in just a minute. This is for proposed resolution R 25-35, updating and amending the Syracuse City Consolidated Fee Schedule by making changes to work without permit violation fees. We have had several meetings on this. The concern is that large construction projects by licensed contractors are not getting permits to do the work or beginning before they get permits, which is a concern, and that needs to stop for safety reasons. So before I open this up, are there any amendments from our previous meeting that need to be mentioned about what we're addressing tonight?
This is just the fee at this point, right?
Yeah, but I still have to ask, is there any amendments from what we previously talked about? Okay, so now I'm going to open the public hearing. Is there anyone from the public that would like to comment on this subject? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and open it up to council. Council, do you have any discussion? And we do need to set a fee. There is a proposed here, but you can adjust that if you're so moved. Okay, seeing no discussion, does somebody want to make a motion that we adopt this proposed resolution?
I mean, I don't necessarily have an issue with the proposed fee for unlicensed contractors doing major work. At some point, I'd probably like to circle back and discuss what actually requires a permit and making sure we're not being overly burdensome on citizens and our inspection.
I think this is solely for construction activity without a building permit when required for a contractor.
It is.
Yeah.
He's suggesting
Okay.
that we do this. And I
Yes.
will accept your recommendation and state that we need to put on a future meeting these small items that are possible DIY projects, what needs and what doesn't need a permit. So
So-
that will be a future discussion.
I did think of one other item that we should probably discuss.
Mhm.
So this is for a licensed contractor.
Yes, this is for a license.
So what if they're an unlicensed contractor performing that work? 'Cause
That would be another violation for being an unlicensed
Just saying.
contractor.
But they would fall into the same category.
My understanding is yes. Let's verify that.
Yes, that's why I left off the word license, because I figured if we want to get unlicensed in that same
Okay, so
vein.
anyone acting as a contractor
Correct.
would be subject to this.
And if they're unlicensed, that would be 2 fines because it would be unlicensed contractor and operating without a permit.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. I have no further questions.
Anyone else? I'll take a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I propose that we accept proposed resolution R 25-35, updating and amending the Syracuse City Consolidated Fee Schedule as outlined.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Item number 8 is proposed resolution R 25-37, adopting the proposed park and ride agreement by and between Utah Department of Transportation, UDOT, and Syracuse City. So this would update our agreements for how we can enforce this. Is there any discussion on this? Brody, yes.
Just want to draw your attention in your folder. I put a revised version with some minor edits. I'll review them just for the record. The first one is just deleting a redundant sentence typo. The second edit is clarifying when the city will take ownership of the park and rides. And the last one is just adding the phrase notwithstanding section 1.2 so that there's 2 sections that don't conflict with each other.
Excellent. Does that create any questions or discussion? If not, I will take a motion.
I move that we accept proposed resolution R 25-35, updating and amending. the
That would be 37. We're one down.
I move that we accept proposed resolution R 25-37, adopting the proposed park and ride agreement by and between the Utah Department of Transportation, UDOT, and Syracuse City.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. All right, item number 9 is proposed ordinance 25-34, amending section 4.35.160 of the Syracuse Municipal Code pertaining to concessions. This in particular is a ordinance that we need to protect the splash pad and keep it open so that we do not run the risk of having it shut down for contaminants. Is there any discussion on this?
Nope, it's important to keep that thing clean. Last thing you want is it getting damaged or contaminated. So I'm in favor of this.
I agree.
I'll go ahead and make the motion then to accept ordinance 2534, amending section 4.35.160 of the Syracuse Municipality Code, changing to concessions as outlined.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Item number 10 is proposed resolution R 25-36, affirming compliance with the Utah lemonade stand law in supporting youth entrepreneurship within Syracuse. This is actually not necessary, but by resolution, we are stating that we affirm our compliance as we understand the law to be written. Is there anyone who has a particular issue with this or discussion point?
No, I think it's important that we actually differentiate between the words permission and a permit.
Correct.
As with any private property, it is important you have the permission from the owner. And that is the same for a public residence as it is for a, private residence as it is for a public property. And so what we don't want is to have, for example, someday just a whole bunch of people descend on one of our parks and there's nothing we can do. So we do request that anyone performing any type of activity on private or public property to have the permission of the landowner. That being said, once you have that permission, a permit is not required. And kudos to all those entrepreneurs out there, the young entrepreneurs and old entrepreneurs, or anyone in the middle, that are just getting out there and, you know, doing awesome business related items. I don't know where that was going, but
Yeah. And,
I'm-
and I think that was an important distinction that this made,
Yeah.
because I think there was a misinterpretation by some that the city was somehow requiring young entrepreneurs to be permitted or licensed. And no, that was never our intent, and that we never wanted that. But like this details, and like Jordan stated, yes, regardless of whose property you're going to conduct business on, whether you're a young entrepreneur or an entrepreneur over the age of 18, you have to have that landowner's permission to operate on that land. So I think it's an important move.
Agree.
Can I get a motion?
I motion that we accept proposed resolution R 25-36, affirming compliance with the Utah lemonade stand law and supporting youth entrepreneurship within Syracuse City.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That also passes unanimous. Now we come to our second public comment period, and I will just note that Syracuse is one of the only cities, and I think still the only in Davis County, that has 2 public comment periods. We are willing to hear from you before and after a meeting. Is there anyone here who would like to make a public comment at this time? Seeing none, I will close the public comments. And we will go on to mayor and council announcements. Jen, I'm going to give you a chance. None? Okay, we're good. It can wait. We're good. All right, Jordan?
I mean, mine is just that I think next month, the applications for the haunted house and haunted candy house contest will be opening up. I'm super excited to get Scary Q's back up and running in the city. And so, yeah, just be watching for that because it's always a good time. I like to think that Syracuse is kind of owns Halloween around here just because we do it well. And kudos to the Parks and Rec Department and all the city employees for really doing an amazing job on that.
Oh,
I don't have any announcements or updates.
Julie,
I don't have anything today.
Brett.
Nothing, thanks.
Okay, I will just make quick mention that the junior musical is having their auditions later this week. So watch for that if you are interested. This year they are doing Lion King Junior. And so that should be exciting. And just one other note, I have been attending some WFRC and state meetings trying to dig up more sources of grant funding, which we have been sharing with staff and we are applying for. So just to let you know that that is an active thing. That concludes that portion. And now we do have on our agenda consideration to move into closed session. Tonight, we have a issue before us that's a legal consideration where terms of a legal adjustment need to be discussed outside of the public because we don't give away our position when we negotiate a deal. So that's legally within the law. So I will take a motion to move into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We will now adjourn and meet in closed session at 6:30 in the conference room. Separate elections.